Hello and thanks for joining us for a look back at some of the stories we covered on Community Update in 2022. We start with a unique story on ice, something that's become a winter tradition of sorts on Crooked Lake.
On a frozen Crooked Lake in mid-January, the choices for fun are few. On top of ice 13 inches thick, but don't tell that to Andover resident Dan Anderson.
My motto is you only go around once or twice.
Anderson built the Ice Master 3000 for his ice carousel.
We're actually going to do 2 cuts this year, 2 carousels, one in the center, about 25 feet in diameter. The big one's going to be 100 feet in diameter.
Along with help from neighbors and friends, it will take hours for Anderson and company to make the giant cuts of ice.
I always loved coming out here to Minnesota.
His best friend Greg from Pennsylvania came to help document Dan's 4th annual carousel.
Dan is an amazing technician. He loves to make things and loves to do things like this.
Fast forward a few hours later, and the massive sheets of ice are finally moving.
It's going once around about every 6 minutes.
Thanks to a few strategically placed trolling motors.
Probably put out, 30, 40, 50 pounds of thrust. We run them about half speed.
Oh, that looks super good. Thank you so much.
Friends and neighbors living along Crooked Lake came to join in the fun.
This year was the first time we got to be here, and it did not disappoint. It's been very, very fun and really like an experience that you can't get anywhere else.
It's just magical. I love it.
Dan's wife Ginger played a supporting role and says she encourages him with all his projects.
He's a project guy and he loves doing this kind of stuff, and he's not a quitter. I would have quit hours ago.
Anderson's grand finale was to light up the night, something residents of Crooked Lake won't soon forget.
Kind of a fun way to get together and meet neighbors, especially in the middle of wintertime.
Pretty cool. Dan and crew will be back out on Crooked Lake on Saturday, January 7th for the 6th go-around of the Ice Carousel. Up next, a big honor in 2022 for the Coon Rapids High School Concert Choir.
Crescendo. Oh.
On Tuesday, the voices of the Coon Rapids High School Concert Choir came together in harmony, inspired by fame. World-renowned composer Jake Runestad gave a clinic with the choir on his choral music gem.
Let My Love Be Heard is one of my favorite ones. He had a lot of good critiques for us and advice to help us sing to our best ability.
Runestad's number will be among the songs which the concert choir will perform next week at the Minnesota Music Educators Association Midwinter Convention.
This is my 3rd time taking an ensemble to perform at the MMEA State Convention.
Director Amy Johnson submitted recordings of the choir performing back in June of 2021. They were judged against other Minnesota high school choirs, and when the final decision was made, Coon Rapids was selected as the only high school choir to perform.
What the organization is interested in knowing is that when you show up, you have a legacy of excellence.
The choir has worked for months on the program they will present next week at the state convention. The seniors in the choir say they've waited 2 years for a performance like this.
I'm so proud of how the choir has come together and how fast we learn to listen to each other and just blend and everything. We've been working so hard.
Each Friday, Johnson and co-teacher Sean Holland share positive messages with their students.
You are loved, you are enough, and you are not alone. And when we found out we would be going to state, they said, that's the story we want to tell.
Johnson said the students focused while performing in Minneapolis and really sang their best performance. In April, firefighters rallied around one of their own after a cancer diagnosis.
Inside Fire Station 1.
This is amazing. I had no idea this was happening.
A pop-up barbershop took place Wednesday to shave heads in a show of solidarity for fellow firefighter Christian Warby.
I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma in October of last year.
21 of Warby's firefighting family from the Coon Rapids Fire Department went under the clippers.
It's just one small gesture that we can do for Christian and his family, and just to let them know that we're there in spirit with them. in this tough time.
It's just amazing to see the support of the fire community. They've all really come together and surrounded us as a family.
There you go. That feels good. That's kind of what you're looking for right here.
Warby, a career firefighter with Coon Rapids since 2014, will be away from his family for stem cell treatment at the Mayo Clinic.
The deal with multiple myeloma is, as things stand, unfortunately it's incurable, but it is very treatable.
Fire service, we're all brothers, so we know he's going to be going through a lot over the next few months, so we all wanted to shave our head for that.
Colleen will have to manage her son's 7-year-old Fletcher and 2-year-old Archer for the next 6 weeks.
We're offering Colleen and his family any support we can while he goes through this.
We're just kind of figuring out our new norm and figuring out our day-to-day.
I come from a culture with a lot of contact.
And so, with his extended firefighter family, all shaved, Christian knows they have his back.
I knew they were stepping up and supporting me, but just like this display of support, it's amazing.
Warby retired from the fire department at the end of September, but we are happy to report he's currently 100% in remission. The Coon Rapids Fire Department will be moving into a new home next year.
1, 2, 3. Whoa!
On Monday, local dignitaries, along with city staff members, officially broke ground on a new fire station in Coon Rapids.
It's a reaffirmation of our commitment to public safety and our fire department, and we're just thankful.
The replacement for Fire Station 3 is being built at the corner of 111th Avenue and Mississippi Boulevard, directly across from Anoka Ramsey Community College.
Obviously, you got to look at what are your options, and in this case, the city owned the land from the previous Cook Arena, and it's an ideal site for what we need, and it allows us quick access to Mississippi Boulevard or to Coon Rapids Boulevard, so it's really worked out well for us.
The new station will include a 32,000 square foot building with 6 drive-through apparatus bays, administrative offices, a control room and hose tower, and dedicated training space.
A lot of the training features are built into the building so that training can be conducted day or night, rain or snow, cold or hot. It really allows us to take training to a new level. That's a real exciting thing for us.
The fire station also includes new design standards to reduce station-related illnesses from various chemical, biological, and environmental exposures.
We really put a lot of effort into the firefighters' health and safety, so there's built-in features to make it healthier and safer for the firefighters in the categories such as cancer, cardiac, and mental health components.
Construction is expected to take about a year to complete. Once finished, the roof of the new fire station will be used to launch the 4th of July fireworks.
If everything goes well, we expect to be in the building, let's realistically say June of 2023.
Construction is currently about halfway complete on the new station. Last spring, Julia Schumacher became the first Miss Coon Rapids Outstanding Teen to win the state title.
Your new Miss Minnesota's Outstanding Teen of 2022 is Julia Schumacher, Miss Coon Rapids Outstanding Teen.
In March, 17-year-old Julia Schumacher became the first Miss Coon Rapids Outstanding Teen ever to win the state title as Miss Minnesota's Outstanding Teen.
It was definitely an unreal moment. Like I said, I've been competing in this organization for about 3 years, so there's been a lot of hard work into it, and just hearing my name called felt so unreal and just a really exciting time for me.
Schumacher keeps herself busy with academics and dance, but also works as a nursing assistant and lifeguard. Minnesota's Outstanding Teen has put her skills to the test with a social platform that's near and dear to her heart called How to Save a Life.
And its main goal is to teach as many individuals CPR as I possibly can. So I learned CPR the first time when I was in 6th grade, and I know I want to go down to a pre-med path. I'm not really sure what yet, but I wanted my social impact initiative to be something medical based. And I did my research about CPR, and I found it really staggering how only 50% of Americans know how to perform it, because a threatening situation or a life-threatening situation can happen at any time in any place.
Julia will be making public appearances around the state this summer, including the Coon Rapids 4th of July parade. Her competitive spirit has her aiming for some big goals.
After I release my title as Miss Minnesota's Outstanding Teen next year, I hope to compete in the Miss organization and run for the title of Miss Minnesota.
Schumacher placed as third runner-up at the Miss America Outstanding Teen Pageant in August. Congratulations to her. The Coon Rapids Police Department has set up shop in Riverdale Village.
So the main mission of the retail cops position is to build relationships with the businesses.
Officer Josh Percola has been on the retail beat at the Riverdale Village Center for just over 2 years.
Theft is our #1 reported crime here in Coon Rapids, so being able to be up here and be on top of it and know the people that are going to be calling 911, it really helps build that trust.
After morning roll call, Officer Percola comes to this new Riverdale Police Substation, a space donated by CentraCorp, which took over management of Riverdale Village 2 years ago. In between paperwork and calls, he helps train store managers, loss prevention officers, and employees.
We also do risk assessment in the businesses, so we talk about cameras, we talk about what to expect when you call the police.
It's been a wonderful situation for everybody.
Senior property manager Ryan Burke says the police presence in Riverdale is valuable, with around 1 million square feet of retail space. But the relationships that have come from this partnership are priceless.
They've appreciated the space, we've appreciated their presence, and it's really come together and tied the knot for a great relationship so far.
The police department recently assigned a second officer along with a police detective to their retail crime prevention team, and it's paying off. Earlier this month, both officers from the unit were assisting on a traffic stop when they noticed clothing with the tag still on. It was determined the items had been taken in a shoplifting incident in Riverdale.
We're just really excited to have a proactive management group up here. We believe, much like CentraCorp does, a thriving retail market in Coon Rapids is vitally important.
As new businesses open in Riverdale, officers will continue to make the rounds to make sure both would-be thieves and store employees know the police department isn't too far away.
Once we're starting to go to these businesses, they're like, oh yeah, it's great, we're so happy to have you up here. And that really just helps facilitate that conversation of, what can we do to help? Because we want businesses to stay, and we want people to feel safe, and we want customers to feel safe.
As of November, the police department has a new tool to help catch thieves. Just before Black Friday, Riverdale Village Management had automatic license plate reader cameras installed at all 6 of its entrances. With the pandemic in the rearview mirror, international teams returned to the USA Cup soccer tournament last summer, including 2 teams from war-torn Ukraine.
Forward touch. One. Close the space.
There are over 950 teams playing in this year's USA Cup at the National Sports Center in Blaine. The largest soccer tournament in North America generates about $25 million for the local economy.
It's exciting and there's a lot of energy here in Blaine.
The tournament has welcomed back international teams for the first time since 2019.
When you bring people from different, countries, it adds more energy, vibrancy. You walk the campus and hear all the different languages.
Girls and boys teams from 18 different countries compete against U.S. teams from 22 states, including Minnesota.
Get an American visa, it's a really big miracle.
For coach Rudolf Balazinets, who coaches the 16 and under boys team from Ukraine, getting visas to play soccer in the United States was something unthinkable just weeks ago.
We have here 55 people. It's a soccer team of boys and girls, and plus coaches and parents, so it kind of was really, really tough to get it in the wartime.
The team was helped by 2 friends from Minnesota who were on a mission.
The idea probably was formed about 10 weeks ago.
Edgar Matson and his friend and former college roommate Peter Waller traveled to western Ukraine to bring back a soccer team.
One of our biggest challenges was getting visas for the boys. And USA Cup helped us, and the U.S. Embassy was very, very gracious in Latvia.
Madsen and company had special t-shirts made for the teams.
That's the theme of our trip, is this is our dream.
A dream of hope for an end to the war in Ukraine.
The USA Cup soccer tournament will be back again next year, starting July 14th. A new tradition has started in recent years on the evening before Night to Unite.
This is a moment where people can just relax and enjoy themselves.
All right now, who all know this?
For the 5th Multicultural Night to Unite kickoff,
people of Coon Rapids with heritage spanning the globe get a chance to share their cultures right in our community at Sand Creek Park. This event has seen its attendance triple since it started, with multiple cultures on display. Its roots of different music and different food is what helps connect people.
Our neighbors put on performances of their cultural dance and music, and then we all can just talk, and get to know each other and see what our neighbors are up to.
And what better way to help expand people's horizons and understanding of different cultures than free food from the event?
We give away the food because we want people to try new things. These new things are made by their neighbors, and so it's a way of connecting people with their neighbors.
Connecting people with one plate and one conversation at a time.
It does help. It might be little bits, it might just be a ripple, but I think it helps. I think it helps open minds and gets people excited about spending time with their neighbors, getting to know their neighbors, meeting new people.
The following night, neighborhoods across the city gathered for block parties on Night to Unite. After more than a year of construction, Anoka Ramsey Community College celebrated the completion of a big project in August.
2, 3.
Anoka Ramsey Community College marked the completion of a major renovation project Thursday afternoon with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. For more than a year, the college has been overhauling its 31,000 square foot business and nursing building. The remodeled space includes updated classrooms, open study areas, offices, and labs. 4 simulation labs give nursing students hands-on training with medical scenarios controlled by instructors in real time.
As we celebrate the renovation and the refurbishment environment, we are really excited about this new beginning and the physical spaces that are now within our walls to provide our students with first-rate, state-of-the-art classrooms, labs, and simulation areas.
And here is the good news. New building right now. We have a new building that will start soon. Number 2, teachers have their office, so beautiful. 3, we have our place we can study without any problem. There won't be that much noise. Guys, it's a day to be thankful.
Specialty rooms, including one for maternity and one for home care, give students an opportunity to delve deeper into specific care scenarios. The rooms also record video and audio to allow for debriefs after simulations are complete. The $16 million project was funded by the state legislature in 2020. Anoka Ramsey's nursing program is the second largest in the state. Applications for the fall 2023 nursing program are currently being accepted through February 1st. We'll talk about a long life. A local World War II veteran celebrated a big milestone this summer.
Happy birthday, dear Harold. Happy birthday to you. Yay, Harold!
Harold Nelson of Ramsey has always been a numbers guy. He worked for years as an accountant. Now, at age 100, his friends at the Coon Rapids Senior Center held a balloon parade to mark his decades of digits.
100! 100! Yay!
Harold Nelson joined the Army in 1940, trained at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Harold was recognized for his military service way back in World War II.
Today, we are here to award a Quilt of Valor to Harold.
The Quilt of Valor organization presented him with a handmade quilt.
Whereas Harold Nelson, after his military service, returned to Minnesota and married the love of his life, Phyllis Olson.
Mayor Jerry Cook read a proclamation from the city of Coon Rapids.
Proclaimed the 16th day of August, 2022, and my sincere happy birthday, and thank you for your service.
In addition to cake and ice cream, there were gifts too.
A cucumber from my garden.
And best of all, playing cards with members of the Senior Center Bridge Club. It's a game he's still willing to get behind the wheel of his car and drive to on Tuesdays.
You have a lot of people that you meet, and different personalities, different ways of playing.
Harold, after all, is still a numbers guy.
Kind of a lifesaver because it keeps an old man going, I guess you'd say. Something to look forward to every week.
What a trooper. Thank you, Harold, for your service and all the best to you in 2023. Shifting gears, the Coon Rapids Recycling Center is a popular place. And with all that demand, the center is in the midst of some big changes.
New home, lots of cardboard.
Judy Watkey is a frequent visitor to the Coon Rapids Recycling Center.
I've been coming to the recycling center since the beginning.
In fact, 2 decades ago, during her first visit to the recycling center, she was featured in an article and photo in the Star Tribune.
This is the jacket I was wearing then. I'm somebody who doesn't like to throw things away.
Judy isn't the only one who's conscientious about what ends up in the garbage. Plenty of local residents and small businesses use the recycling center, which is now in the midst of a big expansion project that will continue into spring.
If you don't need to come in and it's a little crazy and busy in here, it's going to be easier for you to park outside and enter through the side gates.
Carts are available for those who need them, and you can still drive into the center if you have big, bulky items. You're just asked to slow down and watch for pedestrians.
So there are spots along the way. So if you come in the yard for certain items, there are designated parking spots for those items.
The project includes the renovation of the main building that houses the cashier and office area. Also, a 130-foot-long building will be constructed on the east side of the center. It will house bales of recycling materials, styrofoam, and a garage, along with a reuse room.
We get paint, we get a lot of materials that come in here who have a lot of life left in them, or they're brand new and never been used.
Oh, it's really cool. When I go by a garbage can, a dumpster, it just breaks my heart to see things in there that I know could be recycled, that we could be reusing for good, and just keep it out of the landfills.
A little construction won't stop Judy Watkey from using the recycling center in the coming months, and she hopes others will continue to do the same.
When I showed up today with a trunk full of recycling, I had no idea you would be here, but it just touched my heart that you're here with a camera telling the story of just how this place is growing and will provide for even more people to bring their goods in.
The recycling center is currently open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you have Christmas lights to get rid of, they do have a bin for recycling those lights. Firefighters return to school this fall for the first time since the pandemic hit.
It's just great to be back in the schools again.
On Tuesday, students at Eisenhower Elementary got a special visit from Sparky the Fire Dog, along with Coon Rapids firefighters.
Part of your escape plan, you need to have a working smoke detector, right?
They shared their Fire Prevention Week message, which reminds us that fire won't wait. Plan your escape.
So that's why you need to practice your escape plan and get efficient at it so you can get out of your house under 2 minutes. That's the key. Get out of your house in 2 minutes.
This was the first time the firefighters were back in the schools since the COVID-19 pandemic. Student volunteers got to put the escape plan into practice.
The reason for that is smoke rises. It's lighter than air. That's why our smoke alarms are at the ceiling.
I really think the modeling, bringing in, equipment, door, window, things like that for kids to actually see and just really kind of go through experience and have it be modeled for them is really, really effective.
What number do you call in an emergency?
If I practice my escape plan with my family.
This week, the firefighters will take their fire prevention message to every elementary school in the city.
So we like to have everybody go to their meeting spot, which is a fire hydrant, a tree, or a mailbox, something that does not move.
It's an important message they'll be sure to bring home.
They'll be talking about it for weeks.
Sparky spraying water, always a big hit with the kids. November is a time to honor the men and women who have served in the armed forces. This year, November also marked a milestone for the Anoka County Veterans Treatment Court.
We are here today, 10 years later, to thank our supporters and honor our staff and our participants.
A special celebration inside the Anoka County Courthouse this month as Anoka County Veterans Court marked a decade of accountability and compassion.
My name is Jenny Walker Jasper. I've been at the Veterans Treatment Court from the beginning. Clearly the most important thing I've ever done in my 21 years on the bench.
Sentence of law judgment of this court that will stay adjudication of guilt, placing on supervised probation for a period of up to 5 years. On the following
CTN did a profile on the Veterans Court back in 2017 when the court was celebrating 5 years in operation. Just like civilian court, there's a judge, prosecutors, and defense attorneys, but punishment is replaced with rehabilitation.
These are people that we've asked to go to war for us, and they come back, they have issues, and we're trying to help them. A lot of them are PTSD issues, a lot of them are alcoholism issues, all that are related to combat or service.
Since November 2012, 122 veterans have gone through the court. 84 have graduated, which is a 69% graduation rate. The recidivism rate is just 12% and is defined as a conviction of a non-traffic misdemeanor or higher offense within 3 years of graduation.
I told you my story because I want you to understand that this court is where hope comes alive and new opportunities and possibilities are created for veterans like myself.
Paul Evangelist, who served in Vietnam, is the Peer Mentor Program Coordinator. For the past 8 years, he's matched mentors with veterans.
What I do is I recruit veterans that might be interested in being a mentor. I interview with them to determine if they and I think that they are appropriate.
There are currently 14 volunteer mentors who are veterans themselves with an honorable discharge, once again giving back to their country by helping other veterans struggling to find their own footing.
I think a lot of them, they see it as a chance not only to deal with the issue that brought them to court, but also giving them the help for lifelong issues that they've been having and hopefully want to end.
Judge Jenny Walker Jasper, who's been with the Veterans Court since its inception, calls it the most important thing she's done in more than 2 decades on the bench. Some of the best and brightest students attend schools in the Anoka-Hennepin School District. This year, 4 local seniors were named National Merit Scholarship semifinalists, including a young man from Coon Rapids High School.
The biomedical science classes at Coon Rapids High School attract the best and the brightest students.
I'm going to do an ANOVA test.
And it is here where senior Jesse Coe's knack for science shines.
I'm very interested in biochemistry and cellular biology, and I hope to one day work in a lab and work with diseases and how to treat them. What's the story?
His teacher, Luke Glidden, says Jesse's fun to have in class.
It's well known and discussed among his peers that if you're looking for someone with the right answer, you turn to Jesse.
At the start of his senior year, Jesse was recognized as a National Merit Scholar semifinalist. It's a prestigious achievement based on his PSAT and ACT test scores used for getting into college.
One of my strengths is I can learn a lot of information really quickly, and I can really dissect what's important.
Jesse has his sights set on attending top schools like Johns Hopkins. Right now, he's weighing his options. As a youngster, Jesse's parents instilled the value of education on him, including music.
One of my earliest memories is them sitting with me at the dinner table, going through math books, going through reading and English books.
Jesse has already submitted another application in hopes of becoming a finalist in the National Merit Scholarship Program. It's a chance to open doors for even more college and business scholarships.
It includes all my extracurriculars, the classes I took, my GPA, as well as a personal essay that I had to submit.
Among Jesse's many achievements, he rose to the role of drum major for the Cardinals Marching Band. He'll find out in January if he gets chosen as a National Merit Scholar finalist. Until then, he'll stay focused on the task at hand.
I am thankful that I get this opportunity to get a sum of money to pay for my higher education.
We look forward to hearing if Jesse becomes a National Merit Scholarship finalist in the new year. On that bright note, we've come to the end of this look back at some of the stories we covered on Community Update in 2022. Happy New Year, and we'll see you again in 2023.